This is your News Source Evening Bulletin for today, Tuesday, the 9th day of September in the year 2025. I'm Gordon Mosley reporting, and here is what we're tracking tonight. President Irfan Ali and his Surinamese counterpart, President Jennifer Gerlin-Simmons, could meet as early as this weekend to advance discussions on the construction of the $236 million Quarantine River Bridge. President Ali made a disclosure on Monday, hours after he met with Suriname's Minister of Foreign Affairs, Melvin Buva, at State House. At the office of the president told reporters that the two sides are working out the logistics to facilitate the face-to-face meeting to advance discussions on the Quarantine River Bridge project and other projects and programs. Guyana is hoping to finalize the financial arrangement for the construction of the bridge.
Well, that is part of what we're discussing, the financing mechanism, how it will be structured, and those kind of things. That is what has to be finalized.
The Joint Ministerial Committee of Suriname and Guyana have been working out the financing modalities for the construction of the Quarantine River Bridge, based on a process initiated in November of 2020 by President Ali and the then President of Suriname, Shan Santoki. Both sides have underscored the importance of a fixed connection between the two countries, not only to advance economic opportunities and to connect the road network between Guyana and Suriname and ultimately enhance hemispheric connectivity with Brazil and the rest of South America, but also to facilitate people-to-people contact.
So we have not had any changes in the commitment. Even today, we have not had a response that this is not a priority. But the meeting this weekend hopefully would clarify and would settle what the priorities are for Suriname at this time. But this is indeed a priority that we have not heard any changes on.
In addition to the construction of the Quarantine River Bridge, the meeting between the two presidents will also address challenges confronting fisherfolk. The government has been working to secure a fishing license for Guyanese fisherfolk from authorities in Suriname. Improving the efficiency of the Guyana-Suriname ferry service and other joint investment opportunities are among the other areas to be discussed during the planned meeting. More news coming up in just a moment.
Your own home is so much more than just four walls, floors, and ceilings. It's a lifetime of great memories and stories. Come talk to us and start your journey home today.
Republic Bank, we're the one for you.
Quartz presents the Home Event 2025, happening now at Quartz stores nationwide. It's the perfect time to refresh your home. Come explore new arrivals, bestsellers, and deals you can't resist. Discover the widest range of stylish furniture, cutting-edge TVs, audio systems, and appliances that are smart and energy efficient, all backed by the Quartz low price guarantee. Our experts will help you choose what you need for your home. Shop with Quartz Ready Finance and get more. Don't miss the Quartz Home Event 2025. Quartz, bringing value home.
Combo pack up, we feeling best. Sunshine stacks above the rest. There is no contest, is the best mix, so we feeling best. Best value to how you're feeling. Ole cheesy, too much ripples and more. Combo pack up, flavors galore, yeah. Combo pack up, we feeling best. Sunshine stacks above the rest. There is no contest, is the best mix, so we feeling best.
Enjoy Sunshine Snacks Combo Pack. Best mix, best value.
Best mix, so we feeling best.
Venezuela's ambassador to Guyana, Carlos Amador Perez Silva, has rejected claims that the incoming leader of the opposition, Azraddin Mohamed, and his father Nazar Mohamed had been colluding with the Nicolas Maduro government in Venezuela to compromise Guyana's security. The Air Finale administration in the lead-up to the September 1 elections attempted to link the Mohameds, both of whom are sanctioned by the U.S., to the Venezuelan government, contending that they were putting Guyana at risk. But the Venezuelan ambassador rejected the claim on Monday.
No. You say that, no. Collusion in one sense.
Well, that's what we are hearing domestically here.
Oh, and absolutely.
The ambassador spoke briefly to journalists at the office of the president on the sidelines of the swearing-in for the prime minister and the vice president. Vice President Judicial has alleged that the elder Mohamed Nazar Mohamed had frequented the Venezuelan embassy to apply for a Venezuelan visa, while maintaining that he had evidence confirming that the elder Mohamed had visited the embassy. He said the visit was suspicious. But on Monday, the Venezuelan ambassador said the embassy is open to all Guyanese, but he would not discuss visa matters, as those are private matters.
I don't have any comments on that, because in any case, the embassy of Venezuela is open to all the Guyanese and Venezuelan here. And if the person is going to do any kind of transaction, this is internally at the embassy. Other than that, I don't have any comments in that.
The Venezuelan diplomat maintained that the Venezuelan embassy is open to all, and he would not go further to divulge information about private transactions.
If you go to do a transaction, this is between the embassy and the person, any consular transaction or whatever information of Venezuela. But besides of that, I can tell you because I have to respect the privacy of the people that go into the embassy.
Back in August, just weeks before the elections, the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Hugh Todd, summoned the Venezuelan ambassador after receiving information which he said suggested that the Mohameds had visited the Venezuelan embassy. Azruddin Mohammed, who was running for president at the time, made it clear that he has never visited the Venezuelan embassy. In a statement last evening, he said the government has shamelessly weaponized misinformation, dragging ambassadors into its smear campaign against him. Mohammed said one can only imagine the depths of desperation when a government uses ambassadors as political pawns in its campaign, adding that the PPP civic government thrives on deception, fear, and manipulation of the masses. Let's tell you now that the Guyana Human Rights Association, the GHRA, has stated that while last Monday's elections were peaceful, they fell short of being free and fair. In a statement today, the GHRA said while international election observer missions have commended Guyanese citizens and the Elections Commission for conducting this year's elections free from violence, fear, and intimidation, none of the 5 observer missions, the EU, the Organization of American States, the Commonwealth, CARICOM, and the Carter Center, concluded that the elections met the standard of being free and fair. The GHRA said all observer missions highlighted the ruling PPP abuse of incumbency, citing the use of state media, state-owned property, government vehicles, and personnel to advance the party's campaign. Despite those advantages, the GHRA said the PPP fell short of securing a 2/3 parliamentary majority, with lower than expected voter turnout in its traditional strongholds. The association said while Elections Day itself must be commended for no violence or major incidents, the deficiencies of the Elections Commission cannot go unnoticed. It said the Commission's dependence on nominations from the 2 major parties limits the independence, making it unable to make decisions that could threaten the interests of those parties. The human rights body and other civic bodies have constantly called for implementation of electoral reforms agreed unanimously in the constitutional reform process of 2000. While agreed to by both major parties, no major changes have been implemented. Even declaring the 10 regions as constituencies, a supposedly one-off transitionary arrangement for the 2001 elections, has never been converted into single seats. The association also notes the rise of the newly formed WIN party and the dramatic decline of the APNU, pointing out that WIN's presence in the political sphere can now change the country's voting pattern. According to the GHRA, ex-President Jagdeo's disappointment over the BNC's decline as the main opposition party was evident. It said beyond policy positions, WIN's rise may help reduce decades-long ethnic polarization between Afro and Indo-Guyanese communities, an unexpected but welcome development. Dogged by allegations of corruption, the People's Progressive Party Civic Administration is promising to establish a dedicated anti-corruption unit. President Ali made the announcement shortly after taking the oath of office at State House on Sunday. The president said he intends to continue transforming the country with a heavy focus on improving the public service. He said corruption will have to be confronted directly as part of his transformation plan.
Corruption undermines the efficiency, fairness, and credibility of public service. That is why we will strengthen our anti-corruption efforts by establishing a dedicated anti-corruption unit, tasked with excising the cancer from our institutions and holding public and private officials to the highest standards of integrity.
Corruption allegations in the government have ranged from bribery and land deals to billion-dollar contracts and access to investment opportunities at a cost. The president has warned that all will be held accountable.
Every official will be required to account for their personal assets, and any who cannot do so will face the full force of the law. We'll pursue both the corrupted and the corruptors, leaving no room for impunity.
President Ali said the government does not have a system of lobbying, and any person representing themselves as lobbyists or peddling access to anyone in government is misrepresenting themselves and misleading others. A special mechanism, he assured, will be set up to deal with such individuals. There have been reports of some private sector officials charging hefty fees to set up meetings with government officials. On the issue of access to information and the criticism the government has faced over its failure to effectively implement the Access to Information Act, the president is promising greater access.
We recognize and respect the essential watchdog role of the media and will ensure greater sharing of information by instituting mechanisms in every ministry and department that provide the facts in a timely way.
President Ali has also warned that those who are tasked with the dissemination of information will be held accountable for disseminating false information. Prime Minister Mark Phillips has promised to increase investments and development in indigenous villages to push sustainability and self-determination, even as he reminded of the progress made in pushing hinterland development in the last 5 years. Speaking last evening at a cultural event to mark the launch of Amerindian Heritage Month, the Prime Minister said unprecedented opportunities are carded for indigenous people and their communities across Guyana.
Therefore, as we celebrate this rich heritage and its legacy, we must also look forward with a collective commitment to building a future of unprecedented opportunity, prosperity, and self-determination for our indigenous people and their communities across our 10 administrative regions.
Phillips said the government's agenda is to ensure that no community is left behind. To this end, the Prime Minister said that the plans outlined by the government for hinterland development are not just promises, but are a comprehensive, actionable strategy that will see real changes for the country's indigenous population.
Our vision is one where every village is empowered, every voice is heard, and every community thrives. Our indigenous peoples are the ancestral custodians of Guyana's vast and pristine forests. For generations, you have lived in profound harmony with this environment, employing traditional knowledge and sustainable practices that have been fundamental to the preservation of this global asset.
He also charged the indigenous communities to remain primary guardians for the environment, saying that their roles are crucial in the global fight against climate change.
It is therefore not only just and equitable that you, our indigenous brothers and sisters, directly receive a significant share of the proceeds generated from the sale of carbon credits under the Low Carbon Development Strategy. This is not a handout, but a rightful benefit sharing mechanism for your vital role in conservation. And to that end, you, our Indigenous brothers and sisters, can be assured that going forward, you'll receive no less than 15% of all carbon credit revenues, a commitment that ensures your communities are directly invested in and rewarded.
It was also explained that the Amerindian land titling and demarcation process will be advanced by the government over the next 5 years.
Your own home is so much more than just 4 walls, floors, and ceilings. It's a lifetime of great memories and stories. Come talk to us and start your journey home today.
Republic Bank, we're the one for you.
Washi. Hi people. Washing made so easy since I found Washi. Washing me use wash me clothes and I can say wash it soap powder, wash clothes so nice. Wash it soap powder, leave your clothes color bright. Wash it soap powder, leave me clothes smelling nice, of course. So give thanks to wash it soap powder for doing my laundry right. Keep my clothes color bright, have my clothes smelling nice for sure. I could not ask for more. Comes in lemon and original. It is a washing machine in a pack. Wash it soap powder, wash clothes so nice. Wash it soap powder, leave your clothes color bright. Wash it soap powder, have my clothes smelling nice, of course.
Distributors located in the Stabrook Market.
It all starts with one. Maybe it's one look, you know the one, or one touch, even one word. It can start with one step, or one promise, one thrill, one first time, one deep breath, one leap of faith, one day to remember, or one night to forget. One moment, so many stories that make up one crazy, average, everyday, fabulous life. We get one life, just one. Make your move. It all starts with one.
Still on the presidential inauguration, President Irfan Ali, while acknowledging that poverty remains a major problem in the country, has promised to launch what he calls a national crusade to reduce and ultimately eliminate poverty. The World Bank and other international organizations have repeatedly flagged the country's high poverty level, especially among children. During his inauguration address on Sunday, the president said no longer must the country be considered one rich in resources but poor in living standards.
Guyana must never again be a country rich in resources but poor in living standards. We'll also launch a national crusade against poverty itself, not just the visible poverty in our streets, but the structural roots and hidden burdens that keep families from rising. We'll fight it, reduce it, and ultimately eradicate it.
He also said his government intends to keep its promise to raise the living standard and bring prosperity to every household in the country.
That is why a priority of the administration is to put more money in your pockets. We'll reduce taxes. We'll raise disposable income. We'll continue direct cash grants. We will build prosperity in every family and in every home.
Additionally, the president announced plans to advance what he called a bold infrastructure project, which he says will be in works within 6 weeks. And that project will include a new Berbice River Bridge, a new gas energy project in Berbice, and other major projects.
In the next 6 weeks, planning and preparation begin for a suite of major projects. A brand new Berbice River Bridge, a bridge across the Quarantine River with Suriname, a second gas-to-shore plant in Region 6, the establishment of an economic zone in Berbice, the construction of a deepwater harbor, the expansion of the Demerara Harbor, the building of our national digital backbone through Digital Guyana project, and fertilizer and natural gas plants that will make Guyana an industrial powerhouse in the region.
President Ali also promised to forge ahead with the Safe Community and Safe Country initiative as part of keeping Guyanese safe. Acting Chief Justice Navendra Singh has overturned a decision by Magistrate Delon Bess to dismiss 3 charges against convicted fraudster Dave Rajeshwar Prasad. Magistrate Bess had dismissed 3 criminal charges brought against Prasad in the Diamond Magistrates Court after the prosecutors for the Special Organized Crime Unit were a no-show during the hearing of the case via Zoom at the Legwan Magistrates Court. Unhappy with the ruling of the court, Serku filed a judicial review proceeding in the High Court and sought a number of declarations and an order of certiorari, quashing the decision of the magistrate on the basis that the magistrate acted illegally, irrationally, and arbitrarily when he dismissed the criminal charges against Prasad. Granting that judicial review in favor of Serku, the acting Chief Justice on Monday ruled that Magistrate Bess's decision to determine the matters in a different magisterial district was wholly improper. The acting Chief Justice ordered the decision by the magistrate to dismiss the criminal charges in the Diamond Magistrates Court while sitting in the Legwan Magistrates Court to be quashed. He said at a minimum the sitting magistrate ought to have inquired from the court-assigned clerk about the absence of the prosecution before dismissing the cases. Serku in a statement explained that the court-assigned clerk had communicated the wrong date and time to the Serku prosecutors. It was also explained that the prosecutors were told by the court-assigned clerk that the cases were adjourned to the 27th of June and not the 29th of May. According to Serku, it was not until the 27th of June that the prosecutors, upon showing up to court, learned that the cases were dismissed, since earlier in May, in the absence of the prosecutors. Magistrate Bess had reportedly joined the Diamond Magistrates Court Zoom while sitting at the Legwan Magistrates Court. Head of the Special Organized Crime Unit, Deputy Commissioner of Police Fazil Karimbash said it was unfortunate that Serku had to resort to court action to ensure compliance of the magistrate, since magistrates, he said, are creatures of statute and cannot arbitrarily and without jurisdiction make pronouncements which are contrary to the law and rules governing the administration of justice. A 28-year-old construction worker from Kamaka in Region 10 has been remanded to jail for the murder of 49-year-old US-based Guyanese businessman Courtney Evans. The incident took place on the 31st of August in Kamaka at the beachfront. The name of the accused has been given as Joel Harding. Harding appeared in court on Monday where the murder charge was read to him. He was not required to enter a plea and was immediately remanded to prison. The matter will come up again in court on the 20th of October. A police report stated that Evans, who was on a visit to Guyana, was at the beach with some of his relatives when they got into a confrontation with another group of people. The confrontation quickly escalated into a fistfight and brawl, and it was during that brawl that Evans received multiple injuries to his body. He was taken to the Linden Hospital where he died while one of his relatives was admitted in a serious condition. Several other persons were questioned in relation to the incident. 44-year-old Kitty resident and gold miner Junior Anthony Greaves was remanded to prison on the 26th of August after he was busted with 26.7 pounds of cocaine at the Eugene F. Correa Airport at Ogle on the 24th of August. The Guyana Police Force only released information about the arrest and court appearance on the 8th of September, yesterday, after repeatedly being questioned by the media. The police statement on Monday indicated that Greaves appeared at the Sparendam Magistrates Court, where the cocaine trafficking charge was read to him. He pleaded not guilty to the charge and was remanded to prison, with the magistrate setting the 19th of September as the date for his next court appearance. News source understands that on the 24th of August, Greaves arrived at the Eugene F. Correa Airport at Ogle on a flight from Region 1. While he was preparing to leave the airport, police and customs officials accosted him to inquire about the contents of a large cardboard box that he had in his possession. The man reportedly dropped the box and hurried out of the airport. A search of the box revealed a stash of cocaine. Greaves was reportedly chased down by the police and arrested a short distance away along the public road. An investigation into the incident remains active.
Live the island dream. It's your chance to be one of over 100 winners in the Island Dream promotion. Win your share of more than $1 million in cash and prizes. Plus 2 all-inclusive weekend staycations for 2. And that's not all. Score coolers packed with Buster, Turbo, Altitude and Viva. Just buy any can or bottle of Turbo, Buster, Altitude or Viva. Find the code starting with BB. Then visit at Buster Guyana or Turbo_Caribbean on IG or Facebook for details. Live the island dream, get money. Live the island dream.
Guyana's economy is rapidly transforming, and we're all part of it. GHRA is at the forefront of this development by providing reliable and efficient energy and supporting community development from the very core. 100% of GHRA's profit goes back to building schools, roads, and other important infrastructure that connects our cities and towns, providing fuel to domestic, marine, industrial and aerial transportation. GHRA has now repositioned itself as a market leader in the petroleum industry, building a better future for all of us.
With your regional and international news tonight, I am Svetlana Marshall. In the region, as armed police took up posts in high-risk schools in Trinidad and Tobago on Monday, Prime Minister Kamla Persad-Bissessar vowed to tackle school violence, saying enough was enough and calling the initiative the beginning of the end for bullying and classroom violence, according to Trinidad Guardian. Her comments came hours after the police commissioner, Alistair Kuvaru, toured several high schools and warned parents to keep their children in check or else they will be imprisoned. In a statement hours after school was dismissed, Persad-Bissessar lamented the fear students and teachers felt because of violence. She said, and I quote, "Our teachers have become victims of assault and abuse by some students and parents. That will not continue. Any student or parent who abuses or assaults a member of the teaching staff will be removed from the school by the TTPS." End of quote. She also highlighted the impact on students. She said, and I quote, "Too many students are bullied, robbed, and beaten at schools." 10 people were killed and at least 61 were injured in central Mexico when a freight train smashed into a double-decker passenger bus, which the train operator said had been attempting to pass in front of the moving train. Canadian Pacific Kansas City de Mexico, the railway, expressed its condolences to the victims' families and called on drivers to respect road signs and stop orders at railroad crossings. According to Reuters, images from the scene showed the front part of the top deck of the bus smashed in and its metal frame badly dented as first responders cordoned off the area. The collision happened in an industrial zone on a highway some 71 miles northwest of the capital Mexico City, local authorities said. The state of Mexico's Attorney General's office said 7 women and 3 men were killed. Some of those injured were in severe condition, while others were quickly released from the hospital. It added, without giving numbers. Deadly bus crashes are frequent in Latin America. The Mexican government's latest report of collisions on federal highways showed a total of 12,099 crashes in 2023, resulting in over $100 million in damages, 6,400 injuries, and nearly 1,900 deaths. And finally tonight, international news. Nepal Prime Minister K.P. Sharma Oli resigned today as anti-corruption demonstrators defied an indefinite curfew and clashed with police a day after 19 people died in violent protests triggered by a social media ban. In a report, Reuters said Oli's government lifted the ban after protests intensified on Monday, with police firing tear gas and rubber bullets at protesters trying to storm parliament. 19 people were killed and more than 100 injured in the unrest, but there was no let-up in the protests on Tuesday, forcing Oli to quit and plunging Nepal into fresh political uncertainty. The unrest is the worst in decades in the country that is wedged between India and China and has struggled with political instability and economic uncertainty since protests led to the abolition of its monarchy in 2008. Oli, in a letter to the president, said, and I quote, "In view of the adverse situation in the country, I have resigned effective today to facilitate the solution to the problem and to help resolve it politically in accordance with the Constitution." End of quote. An aide to the president told Reuters the resignation had been accepted and the president had begun the process and discussions for a new leader. And that's your News Source Evening Bulletin for tonight. I'm Svetlana Marshall, wishing you a pleasant evening.